My gaming partner and I, the campus beauty Claire, had been together in the game for 5 years. I single-handedly carried her from bronze to grandmaster. Then I left behind the words, terminal illness. Don't wait for me, and vanished. Years later, we met again on a televised gaming show. She had become a famous movie star, while I was just a scandal-ridden D-list actor. I forced a smile, bought a revival charm. The movie star looked at me coldly. First loves are better off dead. But later, when she actually received news of my death from illness, she who was always cold and aloof completely shattered. At the gaming show recording site, I specifically registered a new account, never expecting my manager to secretly switch it to my main account. The moment the name Moonlight Dream appeared, the big screen exploded with comments. Moonlight Dream. Isn't this movie star Lauren's dead first love? Sunset River accounts can't be bought or sold. How did Jason get this? Must have cozied up to the game company CEO. Jason will do anything for attention. Let's watch him crash and burn. Everyone at the scene held their breath. Lauren looked up at me. Her beautiful eyes filled with ice. My hands trembled slightly. The phone almost slipped from my grasp. I never imagined my identity would be exposed like this. The person I once loved was so close. But I had no right to admit who I was. The male guest beside me feigned surprise. Didn't know Jason played this game. Such a high level too. Looks like we'll need Jason to carry us today. At that moment, Lauren's gaze pierced through me like daggers. The mockery on screen never stopped. I stayed silent, wanting to disappear. This game was originally my forte. But distracted, thinking of Lauren's eyes, I couldn't focus. Made mistakes again, health bar depleted. The character on screen collapsed. Looking at the figure waiting to respawn, I couldn't help looking up at Lauren. She lowered her head. Her slender fingers gently touched the screen. The game character moved fluidly under her control. Every attack was absolutely precise. With Lauren's final strike, the game ended. Lauren put her phone on the table. Coldly said to me, Mr. Jason, don't play with accounts that aren't yours. My hands holding the phone shook violently. Because I played terribly. The hate comments grew fiercer. The movie star is always gentle and polite to everyone. This attitude today. She must know Jason's dirty secrets. After recording ended, Lauren strode out quickly. I unconsciously followed. Carefully asked, Miss Lauren, can we talk? Lauren raised an eyebrow. Coldly said, are we that close? Pain shot through my heart, spreading throughout my body. I said softly, that account earlier. Lauren coldly cut me off, it's dead. Then it should stay completely dead. Not deceive and disgust others. I stood frozen in place. So she had recognized me. I watched her walk away. Clenched my fists, nails digging into flesh without realizing. My manager Steven appeared from nowhere. Asked quietly, you okay? I suppressed the suffocating feeling and asked, Steven, I clearly gave you the alt account. Why did you log into the main? Steven's eyes darted away. Before he could speak, my heart tightened. Asked, why did you do this? I said that account was off limits. Steven looked guilty. The company thought the main account's high level could draw more attention for you. Who knew today's secret guest would be Lauren? Backfired completely, he sighed. I closed my eyes, speechless. Noise came from the entrance. The place was packed with reporters and paparazzi. Lauren was surrounded. The reporters like sharks smelling blood, excited and sharp. Questions bombarded, movie star Lauren. What do you think about Jason logging into Moonlight Dream's account? Were you really lovers? With Moonlight Dream's account owner? Were you and Moonlight Dream's owner really dating? I stood in the corner watching Lauren's back. My heart suddenly clenched. A second later Lauren's cold voice rang out, no. It was all just a youthful bet. Her words hammered into my heart. Night fell. I curled up in my small apartment. Rain began falling outside the window. Lauren's words had gone viral online. Netizens edited old game videos, comparing with my gameplay today. Plus Lauren's attitude today. We were trending. Jason steals Moonlight Dream account angers Lauren. Lauren denies romantic relationship with Moonlight Dream. Just a youthful bet. Jason humiliates himself. My phone vibrated constantly. Countless private messages. All vicious curses and insults. These curses started when I entered the industry. I was used to them. But tonight they cut like knives. Each slash drawing blood. Because in every curse was the name that pained me, Lauren. I held my phone. The page stopped at Lauren's Instagram from years ago. The status, gone forever. Suddenly this line disappeared. Panic flooded through me. I exited and re-entered. Lauren posted new content. There was never any first love. Just youthful recklessness. A few short sentences. Denying all our past. In just minutes. This post had tens of thousands of comments. Top comment, I watched the game video. I suspect Jason is Moonlight Dream. But Lauren just found out today. Can't disrespect the deceased first love. Lauren must be deeply shocked. 2 character figurines pressed together on the nightstand. Lauren gave them to me years ago. When Sunset River just became popular. Released the first limited character figurines. She finished filming all night. Still specially queued for hours. Sent them to me immediately. Along with the figurines was Lauren's voice message, Dream. Let's meet. Back then Lauren's voice was gentle with a light laugh. I had agreed. But I broke my promise. A thunderclap. Lightning split the sky. I suddenly woke up. Lauren's coldness and words from today appeared in my mind again. I suddenly realized something was wrong. She hadn't met me. How could she know Moonlight Dream was me? Thinking this, I gripped my phone tightly. Rushed into the rain. Standing before Lauren's mansion. I was completely soaked. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Pressed the doorbell with trembling hands. The door finally opened after a long time. Lauren saw it was me. Her face darkened. Why are you here? I didn't answer. Since entering showbiz, I'd known her address. She once said when successful, she would definitely buy a house in the city's most expensive area. Then, according to my preferences, decorate it into our home. I suppressed the bitterness in my heart. Leaning against the door, voice trembling, Lauren, when did you know I was Moonlight Dream? She stayed silent, looking at me coldly. This silence terrified me. I said sadly, I did come that day. But Lauren coldly interrupted, it doesn't matter. I said urgently, how can it not matter? My father suddenly, a male voice intruded. From behind her, Lauren, where are my pajamas? I stared at Lauren in shock. The man behind saw me, also surprised. But immediately showed a polite smile. Said, you have a guest? It's pouring. Why not invite them in? He was intimately natural. I was like an intruder in someone else's territory. Lauren gripped the door handle. Voice somewhat impatient. Said, just someone irrelevant. I took a difficult step back. Pain surged in my heart. I used all my strength. Slowly said, sorry, for disturbing you both. Lauren's beautiful brows furrowed slightly. Leaving Lauren's house. The rain grew heavier. Lauren's voice echoed in my ears. Dream. Don't wait for me online today. There's a rain scene, the lead keeps delaying. Probably filming until midnight. Dream. Got 2 more lines in this film. Dream. Don't need to go to the theater. Your part got cut. Remembering how hard she struggled then. Now she's escaped those bitter days. I should be happy for her. But, why does my heart feel stabbed? Pain unbearable. I guess I'm selfish too. My whole body felt drained of strength. Just endless exhaustion. A car drove up from afar. Drawn by the headlights, I unconsciously stepped into the road. Suddenly my arm was yanked hard. I escaped. Fell to the ground from the pulling force. Steven's angry voice rang out, Jason. What are you doing? I looked at him. Like a child who'd done wrong, mechanically apologizing. Sorry. Steven's expression was complicated. Sighed and helped me into the car. Looked at me disapprovingly. Why did you think to find movie star Lauren yourself? Thinking of that cold, beautiful face. My hands trembled uncontrollably. Seeing my silence, Steven sighed. What you did was very risky. Do you know how many people are watching you? I lowered my head. Voice hoarse, Steven. There won't be a next time. Steven drove me home. Before leaving, pulled a script from his bag and gave it to me. Don't overthink it. This is a new film the company got you. Third male lead. Join the crew in a week. Prepare well these days. I took the script. Steven added. The female lead is Lauren. Seeing me freeze, Steven misspoke. You don't have many scenes with her. Avoid what you can. After Steven left, only I remained in the room. The suffocating feeling rose again. I shakily opened the drawer. Finally found the pill bottle labeled amitriptyline. Hurriedly shoved pills in my mouth. I've had depression since 5 years ago. Moderate to severe. Even Steven doesn't know about this. This is my secret. A week later I arrived at the film set. Just sat down when noise erupted outside. Lauren in casual clothes, wearing a baseball cap, entered the makeup room and looked my way. Slightly suspicious. I was stunned. Male lead Tom crossed past me. Smiled in greeting. Lauren. You're here. Lauren's gaze swept past me, not stopping for a second. I lowered my eyes. Just felt bitter. She despised me to the extreme. I still thought she'd look at me. Just then, someone suddenly shouted, "Everyone. Check trending yet?" So intense. Jason went to Lauren's door in the rain offering himself and got rejected. The noisy makeup room fell silent. That person realized something was wrong. Their glance fell on me, Mr. Jason. I wanted to force a smile. Face the awkwardness. Only received everyone's strange looks. Then the assistant rushed in. Handed me the phone. Mr. Jason. Look quickly. I took the phone. A photo appeared. The screen clearly showed me at Lauren's door. Soaked and miserable. The photographer very deliberately didn't capture Lauren. Just noted beside it, Lauren's house. That day was impulsive. I never wanted to bother Lauren. I gripped the phone and stepped forward wanting to explain. Miss Lauren. Lauren's cold voice cut me off. I just want to film well. Don't want to become your tool for attention. Mr. Jason, have some self-respect. Then turned into her private restroom opposite. The staff already whispering. Pointed at me even louder. How shameless is Jason? Miss Lauren already said so clearly. He still runs to harass her. Feels like a scary stalker fan. The paparazzi must be arranged by him. Each mocking sentence reached me. I stood there like being nailed to a pillar of shame. Suddenly, a voice broke the suffocating atmosphere. Showbiz is still interesting. Drama every day. I turned to look. Sarah Chen entered with a faint smile on her lips. Everyone greeted her. Sarah Chen is the second female lead in this film. Also the second daughter of the Goldman Group. She walked a few steps and stopped before me. Looked at me with raised eyebrows. Face is decent. Too bad the tactics are too crude. Everyone thought I staged it myself. My hands trembled uncontrollably. Didn't even know when my phone vibrated. Until Sarah Chen reminded, "Aren't you answering?" I suddenly woke up, almost frantically fled that place. On the other end Steven's tired voice, "Jason. I've asked for leave from the crew for you. Come back to the company first." I lowered my eyes. Arrived at the company. Downstairs, many of Lauren's fans had gathered. The rabid fans held megaphones, shouting, "Jason, get out of showbiz." I looked through the car window. Uncontrollable pain surged in my heart. I'd clearly been so close to Lauren. Company meeting room. Mr. Zhang said coldly, "Jason. Your stupidity has opened my eyes." I stood with head lowered. "Let the documents," he threw. Hit my face. He angrily scolded, "Look for yourself." How many partners sent contract cancellation notices? Steven advised beside him. Mr. Zhang, calm down, Jason. He didn't want this either. Mr. Zhang slammed the table. He didn't want it? Then why go crazy harassing Lauren? Jason caused it. Jason fixes it. Now go find Lauren. Beg her to clarify and squash this news. Lauren's cold expression appeared again. My fingertips turned icy, throat dry. I opened my mouth. Mr. Zhang, I'm sorry. I can't. Mr. Zhang glared and scolded. You can't? The breach penalties total over 10 million. Can you pay? Don't forget how much debt the company paid for you. My whole body shook. My mouth filled with the taste of blood. Bitterly said, give me more time. I returned to my apartment in a daze. The apartment door was spray painted red with, "Pay up." I took a step back. My shoulder was suddenly grabbed by a rough hand. The big star is back. Your address was really hard to find. I stiffly turned around. Several men surrounded me. The leader looked at me maliciously. Pulled a photo from his pocket. Threw it hard at me. In the photo, beautiful sunshine. My mother sat on a nursing home bench. Face smiling. The man whispered viciously in my ear, "Jason, pay up quickly. Otherwise I don't mind sending your mother down to meet your short-lived old man." My blood instantly froze. After they left, I clutched my mother's photo tightly, leaning against the door, slowly sliding to the floor. At that moment, a thread of resentment quietly sprouted in my heart. I hated those who deceived my father. Investment fraud. I hated why father committed suicide, leaving this huge mess for me. I hated myself even more for living such a failed life. When I came to, I'd returned to the film set. Knocked on Lauren's makeup room door. Lauren looked up. Seeing me, annoyance flashed in her beautiful eyes. I lowered my head, carefully said, "Sorry, Miss Lauren. Before I was impulsive and disturbed you. Could you please help clarify what happened that day?" I promise, I hadn't finished. Lauren already cut me off. I never respond to meaningless news like this. Lauren looked at me with a cold smile. Besides, news like yours isn't rare. One more doesn't matter. The words struck me, pain reaching my organs. I smiled bitterly. I really wanted to tell her I was so tired. "Lauren, I can't hold on much longer." Slowly closed my eyes, then opened them. I knelt down hard, knees hitting the ground with a dull thud. I said hoarsely, "Lauren, please, I'm begging you to show mercy." Lauren's pupils contracted sharply, momentarily frozen in place. Just for a moment, she came back to herself. Voice ice cold to the extreme, "Jason, I didn't expect you could sink this low." Lauren's eyes held a trace of fury. After speaking, she stood and opened the door. "Don't dirty my space." I endured the needle-like pain. Stood up and walked out of the makeup room. Steven rushed up asking, "Jason, how did it go? Did Lauren agree?" I shook my head. Steven's face showed disappointment. Said, "Lauren is the most principled. I should have known it wouldn't work." "It's just," Mr. Jong said. At this, he stopped and looked at me. "Heaven doesn't cut off all paths. I'll go back to the company and work on PR first." "Jason, do you need me to drive you home?" I said hoarsely. "Don't worry about me, Steven. I can manage." After seeing Steven off, I walked out of the film set, like a lost soul wandering along the riverside road. The highway. I climbed onto the railing to feel the river wind more intensely. If only this wind could sweep me away. Suddenly my phone vibrated. I took it out to look. Lauren's photo appeared on the screen. In the photo she was drenched in sweat, her smile radiant as the sun. Above the photo, text kept jumping. "Keep fighting today too. Moonlight dream." This was Lauren from years ago. Took it for me when I was running extras on set. I had set a reminder to appear every 12 hours. As if seeing her gave me courage to start a new day. Lauren from years ago, squeezed through crowds daily just for a small role. Now she's adored by millions, unreachably far. Just a few short years. Everything had changed dizzyingly fast. While I was lost in thought, the roar of a sports car sounded behind me. I glanced back unexpectedly. A brilliant sports car, expensive, speeding toward me, hit by the strong lights. I instinctively raised my hand to shield my eyes. The phone in my hand carelessly fell into the river. My heart lurched, instinctively wanted to jump the railing to dive down, but was suddenly grabbed and pulled down from the railing. I fell to the ground before I could react. A cold voice reached my ears. "Male actor commits suicide by jumping into river downtown. This lady has truly broadened her horizons today." I looked up. Only then clearly saw the person looking down. Sarah Chen lowered her eyes. A vague smile on her lips. "Just left the set. Didn't even call me Miss Sarah Chen." I didn't answer. Just tilted my head to look at the churning river. My mind had been muddled just now. Just wanted to retrieve my phone. Being ignored by me, Sarah Chen's voice turned displeased. "I'm talking to you." The pain from my scraped palm finally registered. I struggled to stand up. Thanked her, Thank you, Miss Sarah Chen. I wasn't planning to kill myself. Just dropped my phone. After speaking, I turned to leave. Without a phone. Looks like I'll have to walk home today. Suddenly my hand was grabbed. Before I could react, Sarah Chen had shoved me into the sports car. Plus this lady is doing a good deed to the end today. Free ride for you. I was about to refuse. But walking home like this and getting photographed. Tomorrow the internet would have countless stories again. Thinking this, I tiredly gave my address. Sarah Chen hit the gas. The sports car shot forward. Perhaps from not eating for too long. My stomach burned and cramped painfully. I clutched my convulsing stomach. Sarah Chen glanced at me sideways. Raised an eyebrow. Can't handle the speed? I looked out the window at the thick darkness. Said faintly, years ago I also had a sports car like this. When unhappy I liked night driving in the mountains. Sarah Chen interested, then what? The corner of my mouth twitched, then. There was no then. The things my father left behind after his suicide crushed me until I couldn't breathe. That night on the winding mountain road, I really wanted to end everything like that. When I was about to floor it and drive off the cliff. The radio announcer's voice came on. Rising star Lauren's box office goes against the tide. Breaking the internet. I stopped. The next day I sold the sports car. Used the money to send my mother abroad. Unaware, the car had arrived at my apartment building. I came to and thanked her. Just opened the car door. Sarah Chen pulled me back. That's all for thanks? Not inviting me up for a drink? The adult implication was that straightforward. I pretended not to understand. Smiled. It's late. I'll buy you coffee at the set tomorrow, Miss Sarah. Getting out and looking up. I met Lauren's eyes at the building entrance not far away. I stood frozen. Sarah Chen saw I wasn't moving and got out too. Following my gaze. Saw Lauren. She laughed softly. How interesting. At the same time Lauren walked toward me. Stopping beside me. Her mocking voice reached me. Jason. I really underestimated you. Found a new sponsor so quickly. Originally. Wanted to ask why she appeared at my building. But all words stuck in my throat. I instinctively grabbed her hand. But she flung it off hard. Stay away from me, you disgust me. I stood in place. Suddenly I was embraced tightly. Sarah Chen tiptoed to kiss me. I was about to push away. She had already pulled back. I just felt my whole body freeze. Standing there stupidly looking at Lauren. The emotion in her eyes was so dark I couldn't read it. Suddenly, Sarah Chen's laughing voice sounded in my ear. Lauren, you speak so harshly. We're both single. How is being in love called clinging to a sponsor? After a long silence, Lauren laughed. She looked straight at me. Said word by word. Then I wish you both love as eternal as gold and stone. This sentence tore my heart in two. After speaking, she pulled up her hood. Walked away without hesitation. I watched her leave. My hands trembling slightly under my sleeves. Having neither the right nor the standing to keep her. Until her figure disappeared, I suppressed myself and looked at Sarah Chen. Calmly with a touch of exhaustion asked, Happy? Miss Sarah. Sarah Chen raised an eyebrow. Seeming somewhat surprised by my reaction. I said hoarsely, Had enough fun, go home. I'm just a small person. Can't play your games. Sarah Chen paused, tilted her head slightly. Her expression carrying some innocence. So stubborn. Wouldn't I be better than Lauren? I can give you more resources. I forced a smile. People like you. How could you understand what's precious about the heart? Not from the same world. No matter what I say, she wouldn't understand. Sarah Chen's face darkened, ungrateful. After speaking, she got in her car and sped off. The next day, I just arrived at the set when I was surrounded by reporters. Jason, you and Sarah Chen were photographed kissing yesterday. Are you changing targets? Because you couldn't cling to Lauren? Someone exposed. You were kept by a rich woman in high school. Wearing designer clothes and sports cars to school. Can you respond? They all had sharp words. Even directly pushing and shoving me. I couldn't even stand steady. Then the roar of an engine sounded. Sarah Chen's sports car also arrived. The reporters immediately changed targets. Sarah Chen. What's your relationship with Jason? Sarah Chen took off her sunglasses and glanced at me. 1 minute boyfriend. Then arrogantly drove off. The reporters were instantly excited. I was like a joke in the crowd. Security hurriedly ran over. I looked up past the crowd. Saw Lauren sitting by the director coldly observing. Between us like a galaxy separated us. She was brilliant while I was notorious. When the reporters were driven away, I was already disheveled beyond recognition. I went to the director's side. Director, the apology in my mouth hadn't been spoken. The director already spoke. Jason, I've thought about it. Maybe you're not suitable for this role. Our crew wants to focus on film quality. Don't need actors with too many topics. My hands hanging by my sides suddenly clenched. Looking toward Lauren. Is this the director's decision or Lauren's? She lowered her head, studying the script in her hands. As if I didn't exist. I struggled to speak. But my throat was dry as if rubbed by sandpaper. My throat as if gripped by an invisible hand. Couldn't say anything. After a moment I bowed deeply. I understand. Sorry director for troubling the crew. Seeing me lose the role like this. The director showed satisfaction. I passed the director again. Stopped a few steps from Lauren. Miss Lauren. Wishing you a brilliant future career. Lauren looked up at me for a long time. Finally asked, do you regret it? I froze in place momentarily. What do I regret? Regret. Actively giving her up years ago, or regret staying near her, stubbornly returning to showbiz. After a long time I heard my own voice. Never, I clearly saw. Lauren's eyes gradually freezing to ice. As if to freeze me. She said, I never want to see you again. At this moment, the assistant answered the phone and ran over quickly. Mr. Jason. The company couldn't reach you. Said to come back immediately. My phone fell in the river yesterday, hadn't gotten a new SIM yet. I turned to look at her once. Lauren. I don't regret it. Back at the company. I'd already mentally prepared to be scolded. But Mr. Zhang just squinted at me. Unease rose in my heart. He raised his hand and threw a script over. This is what the company got for you. Director David Lee's new film. My heart clenched. This person specialized in adult films. Equally notorious. To break into international markets. I said coldly, Mr. Zhang, I won't take it. Mr. Zhang sneered, Jason. Do you still have a choice? You'll shoot this film whether you want to. Shoot it or be forced to shoot it. Steven pushed the door open. Looked at me with some pity in his eyes. The nursing home couldn't reach you. Your mother saw the news and had a heart attack. Go to the hospital to see her one last time. These words hammered, stunned me completely. One last time. I forced a smile and asked, Steven, you're joking with me, right? My mother's always been mentally unclear. How could she see the news? Steven shook his head, just go quickly. Any later and you might not even get the last meeting. Rushing out of the office. Mr. Zhang's cold voice rang out. So what if her mother dies? 1 week later. Tie him to the crew for me no matter what. I ran to the hospital. Mother had been wheeled into intensive care. Days ago in the photo still smiling gently. Now lying there silently. Her whole body full of tubes. I stood stupidly outside intensive care. My whole body cold and trembling. The doctor approached me. Are you the patient's family? Go visit. Seems like there's unfinished business. Holding on to the last breath. These words stabbed into my heart. Blood seemed to turn into tears. Continuously flowing from my eyes. I dragged heavy steps into intensive care. I carefully spoke, Mom. It's Jason, can you hear me? Mother opened her eyes. A tear slid from the corner of her eye. She gently raised her hand to touch my face. Jason, don't cry. I couldn't remember clearly. How long since I'd seen Mother lucid. This long-lost gentleness made my tears flow harder. The next second, I raised my sleeve to wipe roughly at my face. Forced out a smile with all my might. Not crying, Mom, you must get better. I'm making lots of money now. The debts are almost paid off. Dad's gone. But I can still give you a good life. Mother didn't answer. Her face full of guilt. Lost weight, these years have been hard, haven't they? I held her hand, shaking my head. Mom. No, she smiled gently at me. I've burdened you. From now on live your own life. I just watched my mother close her eyes full of reluctance. I screamed with all my strength. The piercing alarm sounded. The heart monitor instantly became a flat line. Mother's hand finally slipped heavily from mine. The string that had been taut for so long completely snapped. The pain in my heart uncontainable and unrestrained. I bent and collapsed to the ground. At Mother's funeral very few came. Stephen took a look, placed flowers and said to me, "Jason, if you insist on not taking that film, the company will sue you. Demand astronomical compensation." His voice seemed reluctant, but hidden with warning. "Your mother's gone. But the living must still look forward. It's just filming. As long as you're alive there'll be a day to rise again." The glaring sunlight made me squint slightly. I raised my hand to shade, voice calm, "I know." Stephen breathed a sigh of relief. "Good then. Tomorrow I'll pick you up at the company." After he left, I still knelt before the gravestone, gently wiping Mother's photo. In the photo she still looked at me gently smiling. But in this world from now on there's only me. Leaving the cemetery, I noticed across the street there was a black business car, like the one Lauren often used. I laughed at myself mockingly. Having such wild thoughts again. Lauren already said she never wants to see me again. Back home, I dug out the suitcase unused for years. After packing everything, I sat on the sofa and opened Instagram. Everyday people under my account. Cursing, my engagement rate even higher than many A-list stars. Just opened livestream. Countless netizens flooded the room. The screen dense with vicious words. Ignoring everything, waved at the camera. "Hello everyone. I'm Jason. Opening livestream today to tell everyone the story of Moonlight Dream." As I finished speaking, the viewer count in the upper right exploded, shooting straight to millions. Once there was a wealthy young master who didn't know what sorrow was. In his life, the biggest worry was just college finals. The final boss in games he couldn't beat. As I spoke, while holding the old phone unused for years, opened Sunset River, entered the memorized account and password. Light flashed. The character Moonlight Dream appeared on screen. I controlled this character, wandering aimlessly on the map, while narrating to myself. Then, he met an actress in the game. This person ran extras on sets every day. Sometimes to wait for a scene she had to stay on set all day. Bored, could only rely on games to kill time. So the two became teammates. The small actress played games very well. The boy and she together cleared every dungeon in the game. And this girl also used every way she could think of to support the small actress, appearing whenever the small actress needed companionship and conversation, whether late night or early morning. Films and shows, even commercials she acted in, even if just small roles appearing for seconds. The boy watched over and over countless times. Speaking of this, I laughed dryly. Controlling the game character to the final boss location in the game. Slowly walking in, continuing to speak, confessing without hiding. The two went from teammates to lovers. Right on the day they agreed to meet. The boy's family had a disaster. His father went bankrupt. Jumped from the company's high floor. Mother was also stimulated into mental disorder. The young master fell from the clouds from then on. Speaking of this, as I lightly tapped on the screen, the swordsman in game swung hard. The boss's health bar hit 0. Equipment dropped everywhere. I stopped moving, looked up at the comment screen. Who says he's not Moonlight Dream? This operation I've never seen a second person do. Jason is Moonlight Dream. Found the news 5 years ago. There really was a director surnamed Williams drowning in debt. Jumped to suicide. I heard Jason's company is disgusting. Helped him pay some debt. Then crazily exploited him. The contract is very harsh. Many more asked, then what? What happened next? Was that small actress Lauren? I looked at this name, mind briefly pausing. Pulled the corner of my mouth. End of story. The boy lost his last family member too. After I finished speaking, the controlled character had reached origin platform in the game. This was the place for deletion. The NPC in-game kept asking, confirm? Account reset. Operation cannot be undone. I pressed confirm without hesitation. The character turned into blue smoke. The screen slowly showed text, player Moonlight Dream. Vanished from the world, never to meet in this life. I put down the phone and looked at the screen. Comments scrolling fast. I couldn't see clearly. Beside the coffee table was the depression medication bottle spilled on the floor. Empty inside. Stories finished. I breathed out. Slowly showed a smile. I know everyone always hated me. But rest assured. From today I'll withdraw from showbiz. Wishing everyone happiness. Goodbye. In the film crew. Lauren was holding her phone watching my livestream. My expression on screen was calm. As if telling someone else's story. Seeing me defeat the boss and walk to the origin platform. Lauren's heart pounded violently. The manager walked over. Face excited saying, "Good news for you. Jason has completely withdrawn from the industry. Even deleted his Instagram. His company now wants to sue him. Demanding contract compensation. He'll never turn things around." The whole crew was discussing this. Lauren's mind went blank for a moment. As if countless wires simultaneously wrapped around her nerves. Making her unable to think. She felt like she'd missed something. The next second, the manager beside her suddenly screamed. Lauren came back somewhat panicked and looked over. Only saw the manager holding the phone. Lips trembling slightly saying, "Video just came out. Jason jumped off a building. Now all the reporters are rushing there." Lauren ran to the scene. My body had already been taken away by ambulance. She hurriedly ran to the hospital. Outside the hospital was packed with reporters. So dense not even a needle could fit through. Everyone wanted the first-hand news. Even chaotic enough that police had to maintain order. Lauren's hand was on the door handle. Instinctively wanting to open the door and get out. Her manager, Larry, immediately raised his hand to pull her back. "Lauren. Are you crazy?" Lauren pulled his hand away. "I want to see him." She didn't care about Larry's obstruction. Pushed the car door and rushed out. Lauren avoided reporters. Circled through the small path beside the hospital to the side entrance. In front of the morgue, Stephen watched Lauren hurriedly run over. Opened his mouth asking, "Are you here to see him?" Lauren seemed not to hear Stephen's words. She kept walking forward, wanting to pass Stephen directly into the morgue. At this moment, a voice suddenly appeared in front of Lauren. Sarah Chen, her expression serious, saying, "Lauren, you shouldn't be here." She blocked Lauren's shoulder with one hand, preventing Lauren from advancing further. Lauren could only see from afar the body covered in white cloth. A red string tied around the wrist hanging down. Lauren's body swayed unsteadily. "Jason." Lauren's heart, as if pierced by thousands of needles simultaneously. Dense pain. The corners of Lauren's eyes turned red without her knowing when. Lauren slowly spoke, "I want to take him away." Hearing this, Sarah Chen glanced at Lauren. Sarah Chen's face was cold. Eyes carrying anger. She stood before Lauren. Suddenly grabbed Lauren's collar. "Take him away? What right do you have? Does someone with a dog's conscience like you deserve it?" Sarah Chen said word by word. She held the stack of documents in her other hand. Threw them hard in front of Lauren. Lauren looked at the brown paper bag on the ground. She instinctively raised her hand. Picked up the brown paper bag. Opened it, and white papers and photos scattered everywhere. So many papers. All were screenshots of Instagram message boxes. Those were my alt accounts. Every account was related to Lauren. I'd been following Lauren since 5 years ago. Every morning and night, I used each account to privately message Lauren. Reminding her to sleep early and rest. "Hello, I'm your fan. You're so beautiful. I super love you." At first, Lauren would occasionally reply a few sentences. But later, Lauren gradually got busier. Only I talked to myself alone. Besides the message screenshots, there were many Instagram posts these alt accounts posted. Like the name of each post. All the posts I made were related to Lauren. I alone created an entire fan club. Every film Lauren acted in, I seriously promoted and supported. I worked hard to let everyone know about Lauren. Even from the very beginning. When Lauren was just an unnoticed small actress. For 5 whole years. Every day I checked in on Lauren's hashtag. Never interrupted even after entering the industry. My passionate love was all shown on paper. Besides, what shocked Lauren and Steven were also photos of me. These years. Lauren held the one in the middle. Her gaze fell on it. At the same time, her heart felt hammered hard several times. Sarah Chen and Steven's gazes also fell on that photo. Seeing the photo clearly, Steven suddenly covered his mouth and stepped back. He couldn't help gasping. Jason only told me his family was very short on money. He didn't say. Sarah Chen slowly spoke. I had someone investigate. Jason's father was deceived. Investment project lost everything. Still owed many people. The day you two agreed to meet. The company's capital chain completely broke. Jason's father, in a desperate situation, chose suicide. Jason's mother witnessed this scene firsthand. Went directly insane. Sarah Chen tilted her head and glanced at the morgue. I lay there silently. Lauren stared intently at the photo in her hand. In the photo I looked several years younger than now. Not far was a middle-aged man's body. The middle-aged man lay face down on the ground. Head already shattered. A pool of dark red blood on the ground. And I was holding my mother tightly. Wearing the couple's jacket Lauren bought. Expression panicked and helpless. Lauren couldn't believe what she saw before her. She thought I deliberately stood her up. Deliberately teased her. But it turned out not to be. Everything wasn't as she thought. Sarah Chen withdrew her gaze. Looking at Lauren, collapsed on the ground. Didn't you always despise him? Then you should be happy. From now on in this world, there's no more person you hate. After speaking, Sarah Chen waved behind her. Several black-suited bodyguards immediately rushed into the morgue. Lawyer Lewis stepped forward to talk with Steven. Lauren suddenly reacted, wanting to stop those people. Sarah Chen raised her hand, blocking before Lauren. Right. There's one more thing I think I should tell you. Your first famous film, Everlasting, was invested by Jason. If you don't believe it, you can find the film producer to verify. All of Lauren's blood in this instant completely froze. She had no way to move. Also no way to say a word. It had been 3 days since I passed away. But the online heat hadn't decreased at all. Countless rumors about me flew everywhere. Lauren sat on the sofa drinking whiskey. Memories of this time in her head. Like playing a movie. Replaying over and over. In Lauren's heart, Moonlight Dream was a warm and wonderful boy. But since I entered the industry, I'd been full of scandals. Showbiz mixed with all kinds. Lauren originally hated such people. Lauren couldn't accept that her first love was me, such a person. So the day of the show recording, when she saw me smile and raise my hand, Lauren was cold and distant. Words unkind. Lauren drank a lot. Leaning on the sofa, unconsciously fell asleep. In her dream, she saw me with a sorrowful expression. Lauren, why did you say you don't know me? Her heart suddenly trembled, opening her eyes to darkness. Lauren held her phone. Again opened my last live stream. Looking at me on screen. Lauren only felt her heart gripped by a large hand, making her unable to breathe. At this time, online public opinion had completely changed from before. Under my livestream link, comments of regret kept adding. Lauren sat dazed by the bed. Night fell through the window, casting on her somewhat desolate. Before her were papers everywhere, and my photos. The phone continuously sounded notifications. Each Instagram trending topic. Sarah Chen and Steven had arranged people to expose everything. All the injustices I'd borne before. Now all truths were public. When everything was exposed to the public, all previous things were reversed. My circumstances made people feel even more bitter. Lauren couldn't imagine a person who lived so happily before life encountering such major changes. How did I get through those photos? Me alone handling father's funeral. Also arranging mother who'd lost her mind. Despite enduring all this, my face still always smiled. As if those hardships never appeared. As if the person with severe depression wasn't me at all. Lauren slowly opened her mouth. Voice hoarse, calling, Jason. She looked out the window. Sarah Chen's words echoed in her ears. You pushed Jason step by step into the abyss. Pushed him to death. Just then, Lauren's phone suddenly vibrated. Manager Larry calling, Lauren. Where are you? Lauren slowly answered, at home. Larry was silent for 2 seconds. Urgently said, wait for me, I'm coming right over. Soon Lauren's doorbell rang. Lauren carefully put away all the documents and photos into the bedside drawer. Seeing Lauren's pale face full of alcohol smell, Larry was somewhat stunned, saying, Lauren. You. She went to the sofa. Helplessly sat down. Her eyes unfocused. Just tiredly said, the schedule for this period. Cancel everything for me. I want to rest for a while. Larry sighed, even if you didn't actively propose. You'd have to rest anyway. Haven't you checked Instagram? He took out his phone, opened Instagram and threw it before Lauren. Sighed. Said, netizens have gone completely crazy now. All cursing you. Even saying they want to jointly boycott you. The phone screen was the latest trending headline. In the comments, half mourning me, the other half cursing Lauren. Lauren just glanced at the screen indifferently. Said, let them. The uncaring tone made Larry anxious. How can we let them? You have 2 new films about to release. And one about to air. If public opinion ferments like this. Larry put away the phone. Sat on the sofa opposite Lauren. Continued, anyway, Jason is dead now. Why don't we just be direct? Before Larry could finish, Lauren directly cut him off. Enough. She raised her eyes looking at Larry. I don't want to use him to whitewash myself. Looking at Lauren's serious expression, Larry coldly asked, then what do you want? Do you really want this? To watch your career be destroyed step by step? Lauren closed her eyes without speaking. Larry sighed, calm down a bit yourself. I'll go back to the company with PR. Discuss countermeasures at the door. Larry turned back. Don't go anywhere these days. Just stay home. I think Jason certainly wouldn't want to see you destroy your future. Don't forget how you reached today's heights. Larry didn't finish the rest. But Lauren understood too. She reached today's heights. Perhaps not without Jason's contributions. How much time he once spent. Effort and even money. Lauren opened Instagram again. Entered Jason's alt account. She was like self-torturing. Looking at every post I'd ever made. After looking for a long time, Lauren's eyes began to ache. She just pressed back, preparing to turn off the phone. Just then, a photography blogger she followed suddenly updated status. Enjoying the scenery. The photography blogger's post. Just a few simple words. With several photography works. Lauren looked at the middle photo. Heart skipped a beat. She lightly touched the screen. The photo enlarged on screen. Vast sparkling ocean. Under a tree by the sea. A boy in a wheelchair watching the ocean. He wore a wide hat. Expression calm. Beside him stood a slender figure. However, the photographer shot from far away. But Lauren recognized at a glance it was me. I wasn't dead. At this time on a small southern island. I wheeled out from my room. Auntie had just set dinner on the table. Mr. Williams is up. I made porridge for you this morning. Auntie spoke while walking behind me. Gently pushing my wheelchair to the table. Drink it hot. See if it suits your taste. Looking at the porridge and warm milk before me. I smiled. Thank you, Auntie Margaret. Auntie Margaret looked at me with some pity. Silly child, why be polite with me? This is all my job. Plus Miss specially instructed us. Instructed to take very good care of you. Whatever you need, just tell me. I lowered my head, drinking porridge. After breakfast, Auntie Margaret pushed me for a walk by the beach to get sun. The sea breeze blew. My mood improved much too. I asked, is she? Auntie Margaret laughed. Miss also said you'd surely hope she wasn't here. Something came up domestically. She rushed back last night. I could guess it was surely related to me. I nodded without saying more. Silently watching the vast ocean. Domestically, Lauren didn't sleep all night. She couldn't sleep and didn't dare sleep. After seeing that photo, she immediately contacted a private detective. Even found a specialized search team to help her find me as quickly as possible. After arranging the detective, Lauren, fully equipped, went out. In the photo, the figure beside me looked very much like Sarah Chen. Lauren drove to Sarah Chen's house. Sarah Chen, in home clothes, casually opened the door. Seeing Lauren, she laughed coldly. Not even dawn yet. What are you going crazy about? Lauren's eyes were red, somewhat frantically questioning. You're hiding him, aren't you? Sarah Chen looked at her, corner of mouth showing a smile. I don't understand what you're saying. After speaking, Sarah Chen was about to close the door. Lauren suddenly raised her hand, blocking the door about to close. Tell me where Jason is. Sarah Chen looked at Lauren, losing control. Laughed. Is this still our movie star, Lauren? If you really want to hear, I'll tell you. He's been cremated, buried with his mother. If you miss him, you can go underground to find him. Lauren's face went 2 shades paler. She unwillingly looked at Sarah Chen. Sarah Chen looked at her mockingly. Lauren, you were so cold when he was alive. Now that he's dead, why are you running here going crazy? Then laughed coldly, pulling Lauren's hand away. After that, slammed the door shut. Looking at the tightly closed door before her, Lauren suddenly came to, only then realizing what she'd just done. The phone suddenly rang. The private detective calling. Lauren answered immediately. Any news? Male voice on the other end. Miss Lauren. Sorry. No news yet, but we've confirmed. This location is on a South American island. Now we're preparing to send people over to confirm if the person you're looking for is there. Advance notice to you. Later. There may be additional costs. Lauren turned and got in her car. Before the other side finished speaking, she immediately interrupted. Go right away. Any amount is fine. I only have one requirement. Must find the person in the photo. Lauren was very anxious. She wished she could immediately fly to that island. But she just left Sarah Chen's area. Before getting in the car, was surrounded by reporters. Lauren, hello. What do you think about Jason's suicide by jumping? Do you have anything to say? Jason did so much for you before. Did you really not know anything before? Miss Lauren, may I ask? Did you know years ago Jason was a wealthy young master? So purposely played games with him. To date? Can you talk about your feelings when you heard Jason died? Please respond, Miss Lauren. Why are you appearing here at this time? Do you have special matters to handle? As far as we know, Tom is also in this area. Countless microphones, each pointed at Lauren's face. Everyone arguing sentence by sentence, not yielding. She pressed her red lips tightly, not speaking. Those questions like knives, one by one stabbing into Lauren's heart. She just stood there in place, neither refuting nor responding. Just then, a group of people separated the crowd around Lauren. Around Lauren, creating a small safe space. Tom ran over quickly, seeing the news immediately. He contacted his security team. Now in front of many reporters, he ran to Lauren's side, grabbed Lauren's arm. Sorry, reporter friends, I asked Lauren to come to my house. The specific reason is temporarily inconvenient to reveal. Lauren immediately denied. That's not it. When Tom appeared, the reporters gradually quieted. After Lauren finished speaking, she wanted to pull her hand away, but Tom held very tightly. Face still smiling. Smiling said, about Jason. Lauren and I both feel very pained. But in this life, still hope everyone respects us the living. Tom's voice was very gentle, but contained indescribable authority. The reporters looked at each other. She looked at him, he looked at her, all silent. At the same time, Lauren's manager Larry also brought people over. Larry pulled Lauren into the car. Before getting in the car, Lauren looked meaningfully at Tom. Mr. Tom, I hope you won't say ambiguous things in front of reporters. There's nothing between you and me. Tom's face instantly went several shades paler, watching Lauren's car gradually disappear from sight. Tom's hands hung limply by his sides, clenched into fists. Larry drove Lauren home. Looking at her state, he sighed. Didn't I tell you not to go anywhere? Don't you know how reporters are now? Lauren lowered her head. I'm a bit tired. You should go first. 2 hours later, Lauren's door opened. A handsome man pulled a suitcase in. He looked at Lauren sitting numbly on the sofa. Frowning, he said. Lucas slowly walked up to Lauren. Just went abroad on business. How did you become like this? Seeing Lauren silent, Lucas took out his phone and opened Instagram. He'd been at this time attending a closed forum abroad, completely unable to catch up on domestic news. let alone care about showbiz developments. Clicking on the still hotly discussed topic, Lucas scrolled through. His thick brows couldn't help furrowing. In just 3 minutes, Lucas understood the whole story. Lucas looked at Lauren, remembering that day, me standing soaked at the door. His sister was so distant then. Lucas gently patted Lauren's shoulder. Lauren, it's all over. He usually worked decisively, really wasn't good at comforting people. Lauren just stared at the phone in front of her, until the screen showed a message. She tensely said, "Brother, I won't be here temporarily." Lucas watched her hurriedly leave. Sighed. Lauren bought the apartment I once rented. Standing at the apartment door, looking at the paint not yet cleaned off, Lauren's heart trembled. She took a deep breath before entering the password, opening the door and stepping in. The house was cleaned, very neat and tidy. The layout was also very simple. In the air seemed to still linger the faint osmanthus scent from me. Lauren's gaze fell on a small corner. Her heart ached like being shot, pain to the bone. That area, full of posters and photos of her. Lauren couldn't help walking to the cabinet. Opening it, the top shelf was a row of albums. Lauren tremblingly took the first one. Inside were all screenshots of us playing games together back then. I saved those images as photos, laminated them. The second album was her first year debuting, playing some small roles. Every role, I made corresponding animations for. The third was photos of Lauren, some daily posts from Instagram, and photos of her attending events. Officially released photos. The second shelf of the cabinet was full of magazines. Every magazine cover was Lauren. The third shelf held 2 large boxes. One box inside, full of things related to her. Posters and products she endorsed. I bought everything without missing any. The other smaller box held tickets and a diary. The tickets were movie tickets for Lauren's films over the years. All the films she acted in. Every film Lauren participated in. Whether big or small roles. I went to watch without her knowing. Finally, Lauren slowly picked up the tickets and diary beside them. She hadn't opened it. The phone rang. "Miss Lauren. The person you're looking for has been found. I've emailed you the address." Lauren received the address information, using the fastest speed to get to the airport. Besides personal items, she only brought my diary. When the plane took off, Lauren carefully opened the diary. The diary was very thick. I wrote many things, but each time just a few short sentences. I didn't make it to our meeting. Wonder if she blames me. Perhaps we can never meet again in this life. 2 years have passed. Everything's on track, she's shining brighter. She achieved her dream. That's good. I also entered showbiz. I want to pay off the family debt soon. Also want to be closer to her. Perhaps she doesn't know I'm Moonlight Dream. But that's okay. Being able to see her is already good. Mom's illness improved a lot. Lauren also won Best Actress. Some debts have been paid. We're both getting better and better. Lauren's heart suddenly clenched. Finally met her today. She knew early I was Moonlight Dream. But the disgust in her eyes was so clear. Maybe because I didn't show up years ago. Maybe for other reasons. They all hate me. I don't care. Life now is so much better than before. Too many creditors came looking. But I have no money left. What else can I do? Looking at each word and sentence, Lauren was already in tears. At the same time, the plane slowly landed. Small lakeside castle. I sat by the window. Across from me sat a beautiful woman, elegantly pouring tea for me. Mr. Williams seems to be in good condition lately. I looked at the water outside and smiled. The woman also smiled lightly. Gently said, "If you want, you can try doing more things you like playing games." As she finished speaking, the door was pushed open. Without hesitation, pushing my wheelchair outside. "Come with me." Watching Sarah Chen and my backs. Dr. Evans took a sip of tea, lowered her head and smiled lightly. I was pushed out of the tea house by Sarah Chen. Puzzled, I looked at Sarah Chen asking, "What's wrong? Did something happen?" Sarah Chen suddenly stopped. I saw she wasn't speaking. So-called Sarah Chen. Sarah Chen's mind raced, then pushed me back. Sarah Chen pushed me back to the tea house. This time she called Dr. Evans, cousin. Dr. Evans picked up her bag beside her. Standing up, "You two enjoy your tea slowly. I'll go first. I'll come again in a few days." Sarah Chen looked at me. "Cousin, his illness." Dr. Evans smiled. "More stable now, don't worry." Hearing this, Sarah Chen waved, "Then go ahead." She pushed me to the table. Looking out the window casually said, "She came looking for you." Who she was didn't need saying. My hand-holding tea trembled slightly. Hot tea spilled out. Sarah Chen frowned. Immediately pulled my hand. Put it under the nearby faucet. Running water. Angrily said, "Why are you so stupid? Even burned your hand drinking tea." I looked at my reddened fingertips somewhat dazed. Meanwhile Lauren, after landing, immediately rushed to the address in the email. She looked at the door before her. Somewhat nervously took several deep breaths. Then raised her hand to gently knock on the door. A handsome blonde guy opened the door seeing Lauren. His eyes lit up, winked at Lauren. In pure British accent said, "Who are you looking for?" Lauren looked behind him. The house was completely empty. Seeing nothing, seeing Lauren's gaze, the handsome blonde guy generously invited. Lauren shook her head, turning while dialing the phone. The other side continuously apologized, "Sorry, Miss Lauren, our people made a mistake. Don't worry, we'll continue searching." Lauren walked desolately along the beach, looking at the vast ocean. She remembered the line I wrote in the diary. "We're both getting better." Were they really both better? Lauren stood still for a while before leaving. Not far under a tree, Sarah Chen, pushing my wheelchair, slowly emerged from behind the tree. Sarah Chen asked, "Don't want to see her?" I shook my head saying, "It's all over. No need to meet again." Sarah Chen laughed softly, pushed me home. Sarah Chen teased, "Jason, consider me. I'm beautiful and rich." The sun set bit by bit. Sunset illuminating the whole ocean brilliant red, like a brilliant oil painting. Hearing Sarah Chen's words, I couldn't help laughing. I always thought Sarah Chen was just a rich girl who didn't know the suffering of the world. That day when I desperately jumped, she saved me. She asked me, "Jason, do you want to escape?" After that, Sarah Chen had someone bring me here. The first few days on this island, my depression was still very severe. Suicidal thoughts appeared frequently. The second day I jumped from the second-floor balcony. Broke my leg. Sarah Chen squatted in front of me. She said, "Jason, you've already died once." Back home, Lauren went to my apartment. Drank one glass after another. Dreamed one dream after another. Waking from dreams, Lauren only felt her heart, like having a large hole dug out. Inside, both cold and painful. But she was powerless. The second day, sobering up, her head ached like it would explode. But the headache wasn't the worst. The worst was her heart. She'd never regretted like now. Regretful but powerless. Lauren lay on the sofa looking at the ceiling. "Jason." She slowly closed her eyes. A tear slowly slid from Lauren's eye corner. Larry suddenly called. "Lauren, don't speak. Listen to me. Reporters have already ambushed at Jason's building. Downstairs already. Listen to me. Exit and turn left." Lauren firmly said, "I'm not going." Larry anxiously yelled at Lauren, "Be sober. Beep beep beep. A new day has begun. Jason, keep going." The clock hand slowly pointed to 8 o'clock. The animated doll not far away made this sound. Lauren tilted her head, immediately saw the animated doll 80% like her. The animated doll was waving. She suddenly laughed, but the smile was bitter. She slowly stood up, following Larry's directions, went outside. Larry was right. She had to stay sober. Jason was still alive. She would definitely find him. In the Brilliance Company office, Tom found Larry, said he wanted to create a CP with Lauren, and had people buy announcements to create a CP for Tom and Lauren, at the same time attributing what I did before, all attributed to my one-sided wishful thinking. While Lauren knew nothing, Tom sat on the sofa, watching the phone screen slowly appear with articles. PR, eyes flashing with pride. Lauren appears late night at Tom's residence. The two are passionately in love. Lauren's studio publicly responds. Jason's one-sided wishful thinking. These announcements immediately caused public opinion to explode. Lauren gripped her phone tightly. Angrily pushed open the office door. Who allowed you to do this? Since Lauren entered the industry. First time getting angry in front of everyone. Flying into a rage, she rushed to Larry questioning, Larry, you've been my manager for 5 years. What are you doing now? Larry gripped Lauren's shoulders. Staring into Lauren's eyes. I'm doing this for your own good. Tom also stood up. Lauren, don't be angry. We're from the same company. If you don't want to, after the storm passes. I'll clarify again, that's fine. Lauren turned to look at Tom. She laughed coldly, eyes mocking. Tom couldn't help stepping back. Lauren, don't look at me like that. Lauren laughed, saying, put away your petty thoughts. We're all in the industry. You think I don't see what you're thinking? Young Master Tom seems to have forgotten his 3 timing. Still want to add another? The blood drained from Tom's face instantly. He moved his mouth, unable to speak. 3 years since debut, he rose through his body. Always thought no one knew. Larry, who'd been in showbiz over 10 years, instantly understood what Lauren's words meant. But now the announcements were already out. Even wanting to fix it was too late. Helplessly advising Lauren, the announcements and clarifications are already out. Lauren firmly said, then release new ones. Larry sighed. Do you have to do this? Lauren looked at him for a long time. She composed an Instagram post in front of Larry. Hello everyone, I'm Lauren. From today I'll be taking an indefinite break. Seeing the words clearly on screen, Larry's pupils contracted sharply, immediately raised his hand to grab Lauren's phone. But Lauren had already pressed send. The day after Lauren announced her break, she disappeared. No one knew where she went. She only left a note for Lucas, brother. I'm going to find him. 2 years later, I walked out of the airport wearing sunglasses. Sarah Chen looked at me. The smile in her eyes almost overflowing. Teasing, isn't it the coach? Finally willing to return home. I smiled, walking to Sarah Chen's side. Walking out shoulder to shoulder with her. Now I'd completely recovered, both physically and mentally. 2 years abroad. I spent half a year. From the hellish overseas game training camp. Graduating with the best results. Then became a professional coach. For a top gaming company. The mission was to lead the team in training. And achieve excellent results in tournaments. In just 2 short years. The team I led almost won every major overseas gaming tournament. And the name Summer Sky had become known to everyone. Sarah Chen looked at me asking, how long are you staying this time? I spun my phone, not leaving again. I plan to establish a domestic team. Try for the National Gaming Championship this year. Sarah Chen was stunned. Feet stopped in place. A few seconds later, she hurriedly caught up asking, Jason, then do I have a chance? Right? 2 years isn't long, nor is it short. Many people and things had changed. I quickly moved into the seaside villa. This house was my old home. The place with my best memories. I'd prepared long for returning home. Also bought this place back before returning. Renovated it. Now I sat by the window looking at the ocean outside. Lost in thought. Beep beep. Phone received a message from a team member. Coach, your appointment tonight at 7 inches. First live stream in just 1 hour. I went to the livestream room next door. Sat at the desk. Adjusted all equipment. Quietly waited until 7 o'clock. Exactly 7 o'clock. I took a deep breath. Pressed the start livestream button. This livestream was my first attempt to make the team famous. Couldn't make mistakes. Fortunately, the livestream didn't show faces. I wasn't too nervous. I slowly opened the game on screen saying, hello, everyone, this is gaming coach Summer Sky. Today live streaming a game for everyone. It's recently. A very hot new game recently. Misty West City. Lauren sat in the car. Looking at the livestream on her phone. Hearing the voice from inside. Heart pounding like thunder. Hand holding the phone, trembling uncontrollably. Lauren slowly stopped the car by the road. Walked toward the independent seaside villa. This villa had a very special design. She'd come many times. Each time only looking from afar. Each time it was pitch dark inside. But now was different. Inside lights were on. Half a year ago, someone bought this villa from her. At that time Lauren thought. Perhaps he'd returned. Now Lauren carefully approached step by step. Finally she stopped at the window. Inside came a very excited male voice. To the left, a bit more left, good that's it. Today's livestream ends here. Everyone can follow my Instagram. And the team's Instagram. Thank you for your support. Goodbye. Following the voice from inside. The livestream screen on the phone also ended. I took off my headphones to drink water. Then heard a familiar voice outside. Jason, is that you? Hearing this voice my heart trembled uncontrollably. Immediately stood up and turned off the lights. The moment the lights went off, I heard Lauren sigh. Her voice somewhat helpless. Jason. I know it's you. Lauren stared at the window before her. Voice somewhat choked. Can we meet once? I leaned against the wall listening to Lauren's voice. Heart beating fast uncontrollably. I tried taking many deep breaths before slowly calming down. These past 2 years, I thought I'd forgotten. I thought when meeting Lauren again, I could calmly face her. But now I had to admit, when Lauren's voice sounded, my mood still fluctuated. Lauren stood outside, intermittently saying much, talking about old times and present. Finally she said, actually you being alive is already very good. Even if you don't want to see me it's okay. Her voice was somewhat hoarse. I tilted my head looking out the window. Remembering long ago, she coldly told me, I never want to see you again. The curtains blocked everything outside. But I seemed able to see through them. See Lauren's bitter smile. People are always like this, repeating over and over. Many things seem unimportant when you have them. Until they're lost. Then spending all efforts wanting to find them again. Rustling sounds came from outside. I went to the window and pulled the curtain open a crack. Lauren turned to look at the ocean as if deep in thought. I couldn't help looking in the direction she was facing. There was nothing there. Just the endless ocean surface. Finally I couldn't resist stepping out the door. Following Lauren's footsteps, she reached her car preparing to open the door. As if sensing the burning gaze behind her, Lauren stopped the motion of opening the door. Correspondingly turned around and saw me. She slowly moved her mouth. Unable to say anything. We looked at each other for a long time. Lauren finally slowly said, Jason. I smiled. Lauren. Long time no see. Lauren took a step forward looking at me. I waved at her. I knew Lauren had taken a break. Also knew she'd been looking for me these 2 years. Sarah Chen had told me many things. I said indifferently, Lauren. Those things are over now. Life is very long. Those things were just an experience for us. I've let go. Lauren's expression. For a moment, I continued speaking. I know you've been looking for me these 2 years. But really there's no need. No need to feel guilty. Also no need to feel indebted. Like they said, no one forced me to do those things back then. It was my choice. So whatever the result I accept it. The ocean breeze was strong. Suddenly a warm hand grabbed my slightly cold fingertips. I suddenly turned to look. Sarah Chen forcefully gripped my hand. Lauren. Jason is dead. I told you 2 years ago. When parting I said to Lauren, Lauren. I've started a new life. Do you still remember your dream? If you remember then start again. Lauren smiled bitterly. That road is full of thorns. She could persist before. Because I encouraged her every day. These 2 years, Lauren had been staying in my old apartment. All the arrangements, kept exactly as before. Moonlight through the large window shone in. Lauren's shadow looked desolate. She took out her phone and dialed. New game advertising collaboration. Today's live streamer. Have marketing contact them. Any amount to secure the collaboration. On the other side I sat on the sofa. Sarah Chen sat beside me. Not far away frowning angrily looking at me. Jason, look at you with some talent or not. I was amused by her appearance. I don't want to do anything. Just clarifying things with her. Sarah Chen snorted coldly. Better be that way. But at this moment Sarah Chen's phone suddenly vibrated. She looked at the phone screen. Slightly frowning. Sarah Chen made a silence gesture to me. Pressed speakerphone asking. What is it? Steven's voice from the other end. Sarah. Jason is still alive, right? My hand peeling an orange stopped. Looking at Sarah Chen. The other end continued, don't hide it anymore. Paparazzi already sent me photos today. And videos. Lauren was in them too. Sarah Chen stood up, coming to my side. She grabbed my hand. Asked the other end, so what? Steven continued speaking. Let Jason meet me once. I have something to tell him directly. Moreover, his contract with the company still has 2 months left. Early the next morning, I sat in the backseat playing games. Sarah Chen sat beside me chattering non-stop. Jason, why are you so heartless now? Aren't you afraid the news you're alive will cause a huge storm? I laughed, if I've been dead 2 years and still this hot, then I have no choice. Looking at Sarah Chen angry. The smile on my lips grew more relaxed. An unremarkable topic slowly climbed the trending searches. Tom trained hard for 2 years. Became hot game streamer Summer Sky. Steven just met me. Immediately his eyes turned red. I looked at him, also feeling somewhat emotional. Steven looked at me nodding. Said, follow me. I followed Steven into the meeting room. The previous Mr. Zhang had been arrested for breaking the law. Now the company had a new boss. Steven introduced, Jason. This is the company's new boss, Mr. Wang. And said he wanted to renew my contract to continue as an actor. I refused and left the company with Sarah Chen. Unexpectedly, just downstairs we were blocked by reporters. They pointed microphones at my face asking, Jason, did you really jump off a building back then? Why are you clearly still alive, yet created the illusion of fake death? Did you do it on purpose? Did you deliberately stage fake death back then? To manipulate public opinion? Jason, where did you go these 2 years you disappeared? Do you know about Lauren taking an indefinite break? Was Lauren with you these 2 years? Please say something. Jason, why is Sarah Chen with you? What's your relationship with Sarah Chen? Jason, please respond. They asked non-stop, sentence after sentence. The familiar suffocating feeling rushed toward me. Fortunately, Sarah Chen had prepared. Bodyguards immediately blocked the reporters. We went to the car. I continuously told myself it's okay. Taking deep breaths, I just got in the car. Sarah Chen turned around, coldly said, we're not showbiz people anymore. If you keep pressing like this. She swept her gaze over those reporters. Eyes cold. Until the noise gradually disappeared. In the car, Sarah Chen kept a cold face. Seeing this, I comforted, don't be angry anymore. Couldn't help remembering our first meeting. Back then, Sarah Chen had a sharp tongue. Always looked at me with contempt. But these 2 years, Sarah Chen was completely different from before. She always used her own way to protect me very well. Jason. Sarah Chen suddenly called my name and said, honestly, do you still want to roll around in showbiz? Clearly a question, but asked with a threatening tone. Jason looked at Sarah Chen. Very seriously said, don't want to. Sarah Chen, I'm very clear what I want. Clear before, also clear now. Sarah Chen's expression improved much. Sarah Chen drove me to the studio. In the studio, several young guys were wearing headphones. Sitting at computers seriously training. Occasionally exchanging a few words with teammates. When Sarah Chen and I entered, the game match was at a tense stage. So they completely didn't notice the boss arriving. I didn't disturb them either, but walked around the studio myself. Sarah Chen followed behind me. Wherever I went, she went. After we'd toured the studio, the team members had just finished training. They reported the recent training situation, all meaningfully looking at Sarah Chen behind me. Just then, a guy said to me, oh right coach. Online there's a male actor impersonating you. Sarah Chen and I simultaneously turned to look at the speaking team member. I squinted asking, what did you say? Impersonating me? I momentarily didn't understand this sentence. Until the team member showed me his phone. Looking at that trending title, I laughed angrily. Unexpectedly, after 2 years, Tom still self-directed and invested like this. And even did this absurd thing. 2 years ago when the CP announcement came out, not only didn't it redirect public opinion, it even angered more netizens. Collectively cursing Lauren for being irresponsible. Cursing Tom for eating Jason's blood-soaked bread. Tom's reputation plummeted without breaks. These 2 years his opportunities became fewer. So he could only occasionally self-PR a bit. I just didn't expect he would impersonate me. I clicked to see the comments inside. Sure enough, as I guessed, not much different. Is Tom ridiculous or what? He thinks Summer Sky is a game streamer, haha. This is the best joke of the year. Who is this person anyway? I've never heard this name. I'm really dying of laughter. Does Summer Sky know he's just a game streamer? He's abroad, won major gamer awards, works as a coach with 8-figure annual salary. So annoying. Someone come seal this lunatic. There were also comments just appearing. Have you guys seen the trending? Jason isn't dead. Not dead, oh my god. Real or fake? Wasn't there body identification back then? Jason's company publicly issued a statement. I'm not lying to you. Exit and go look. He appeared with Sarah Chen, more real than gold. But I didn't look at trending topics related to me. Sarah Chen and I weren't industry people. No need to look anymore. Even less need to respond. I returned the phone to the team member. I looked at Sarah Chen. Said, I received a collaboration invitation from Misty West City. Need to go to their company. Lazily said. Sarah Chen collapsed on the nearby sofa. Fine. I won't run around with you anymore, be careful yourself. She'd been up early since morning. Now so sleepy she couldn't even open her eyes. I followed the address in the message. To Misty West City's company. Someone quickly received me. I didn't miss the receptionist when seeing me. Eyes flashing with surprise. I sat in the meeting room. Through the meeting room glass looking outside. I'd been interested in Misty West City. This game for a long time. Since this game started testing. I'd been playing. This game was somewhat similar to Sunset River. But had many small designs and details. Much more refined than Sunset River. Looking at everyone busy outside. I couldn't help thinking. A new game company could actually achieve this level in such short time. Their strength naturally couldn't be underestimated. Footsteps suddenly sounded outside. I withdrew my gaze. The meeting room door was knocked twice lightly. Then a woman in a suit walked in. Misty West City's marketing director. She said they wanted to invite me to collaborate with their company. To promote Misty West City game. And hire me as a technical consultant. I said quietly I needed to think about it. At this time Lauren was sitting in the next room. Watching the live feed from the meeting room. I left the game company and returned to the villa. Collapsed on the sofa. Don't know why. I always felt Misty West City games. Launch timing was very strange. Since Misty West City started testing. Many people had been urging the game to launch. But the boss behind always said. The game still had bugs needing fixes and adjustments. Always continuously optimizing. But suddenly launched 3 days before I returned home. I thought for a while. Finally couldn't help laughing. It's just a game launch timing. Why'd I need to be so serious? Early the next morning. I normally went out to the studio. But the car drove halfway. Not far suddenly rushed a black business car. I couldn't avoid in time. The 2 cars collided lightly. Fortunately the force wasn't great. People in the cars weren't hurt. I quickly calmed down. Took out my phone to call insurance and police. In less than 20 minutes. My car was towed to the 4S dealership. When I was sitting in the lounge drinking coffee. Tom walked in again. He saw me. His face immediately became very guilty. Tom walked up quickly. A punch swung at my face. Jason. It really is you. Weren't you dead? How are you alive again? He screamed with all his might. I stood up raising my hand to wipe the corner of my mouth. Laughed lightly. What, couldn't profit from creating CP back then? Now getting cursed for attention seeking. Dumping all the unsweet things on me. My words hit his sore spot. Tom yelled loudly wanting to punch again. This time I was prepared. Gripped Tom's hand tightly. Conveniently took from beside. The hot coffee the waiter just brought. Directly poured it on Tom's head. Coldly said, treating you to coffee, no need to thank me. After speaking I took the jacket beside me and walked out. But after just 2 steps I ran into Lauren. Meeting Lauren's gaze. I was somewhat stunned. Lauren's eyes looked at me with some worry. Heard you had a car accident. I happened to be nearby. So came to check. I stepped back, creating distance from her. Coldly said, Lauren, I already said the past is over. Lauren somewhat sadly pulled at the corner of her mouth. I know. So we won't talk about the past. Tom, hearing Lauren's voice, had also walked this way. Affectionately said, Lauren, have you been living well these 2 years? Lauren didn't even look at Tom. Her burning gaze fell on me. A cold male voice sounded from behind Lauren. Lauren, come look at this car. I glanced at Lauren indifferently, preparing to go around her and leave. Lauren suddenly raised her hand, grabbing my wrist. At this time a man randomly appeared before me. I looked up, immediately saw a stunningly attractive face. Could suddenly retreat to that day. I stood at Lauren's door. It was this man who smiled and invited me to sit inside. I looked at Lucas. A familiar aching feeling transmitted in my heart. Tom beside us. Seeing Lucas. Misunderstood Lauren and Lucas's relationship. So angrily left. I also wanted to leave. But Lauren pulled me. Lucas raised his eyebrows, saying, not introducing? Lauren then slowly let go. Jason. This is my brother Lucas. I looked at Lucas, somewhat surprised. Then looked at Lauren. Only then noticing their eyebrows and eyes were very similar. Just that I never paid attention before. Lucas extended his hand to me. Hello. I'm Lucas. Can I call you Jason? I've heard about you before. For politeness, I shook hands with Lucas. Sure. Mr. Lucas, hello. The smile at Lucas's mouth became clearer. He turned to Lauren, saying, all right. I won't disturb you two talking. I'll continue looking at cars. You two take your time. As soon as Lucas left, a voice sounded from the doorway. Jason. Sarah Chen came in, grabbing my shoulder, checking me up and down. Jason said softly, I'm fine. Just a light collision. Lauren stood beside, watching us naturally together like this. Hands hanging by her sides, unconsciously clenched. Sarah Chen pouted, saying, all right. If you're fine, then come back with me. My dad's been missing you for days. He's always waiting for you to come play games. Sarah Chen pulled my hand, walking out. Only then noticing Lauren beside us. She was like a lion suddenly bristling. Lauren, why are you here? Lauren looked at me indifferently. What's it to you? Sarah Chen's face cold. Lauren. I'll say it again. You'd better stay away from Jason. After speaking, she pulled me quickly away. Back at the Chen villa. Sarah Chen's father immediately came out of the study, grinning. Jason, you're back. Haven't played games in so long. Having beautiful company really isn't the same. Sarah Chen snorted coldly. What games? She pulled me upstairs, straight into her room. Just entering, she pushed me onto the bed, seriously looking at me but silent for a long time. Until I couldn't help reminding her. She looked up seriously at me. Finally calmly pulled me up. It's nothing. Let's go down, after lunch. I accompanied Mr. Chen, playing several game rounds. Until receiving an email. I excitedly yelled with a smile, Sarah Chen. Sarah Chen was sitting not far, holding a tablet. Don't know what she was busy with. Hearing my voice, immediately put down the tablet, looking at me, asking, what is it? I excitedly stood up, voice carrying joy. I qualified for competition. My team passed. Can participate in this year's gaming tournament. Sarah Chen and Mr. Chen were both infected by me. Back at the studio after meeting with team members, I suddenly remembered the Misty West City collaboration. I held the phone, dialing. Hello. Is this Misty West City Game Company? I'm Jason. The other side didn't speak. I paused. It's like this. My side recently needs to prepare for an important tournament. Probably can't collaborate with your company. Thank you again for you and your company recognizing me. I hadn't finished speaking. The other end rang with the beep beep of hanging up. I looked at the phone, somewhat puzzled. At this time a message appeared. Sorry, Mr. Williams. I temporarily have something. Can't answer the phone conveniently. If you want, tomorrow I'll come to your studio to meet. Would that work for you? So I replied with the address and time to the other party. Early the next morning I arrived at the studio early. A light knock sounded at the door. I immediately stood up to receive. Unexpectedly, the person who came was Lauren. Lauren looked at me, opening her mouth. Jason, I'm not here to bother you. I'm here to talk about collaboration. I froze, only then understanding Lauren's meaning. Misty West City was her company. Only now did I finally understand what I'd been overlooking. Back when we played Sunset River together, I once complained about some designs in it. Misty West City did them all perfectly. Lauren sat down beside me. I immediately stood up. Then you should know. I won't collaborate with you even more. Lauren paused, looking up at me. Why not win-win? Our game just launched. Needs promotion to increase users. And your team joining the national gaming tournament also needs money, right? Lauren wasn't wrong. Joining the gaming tournament costs quite a bit. Passing the qualification round still needs a large sum. I saved some abroad. But for a professional gaming team, it's completely a drop in the bucket. Silent for a moment, Lauren continued, You did so much for me before. Consider this me paying you back. Her words made my heart flutter. As if struck hard by something. I stared at Lauren stupidly for 2 seconds. Lauren, I never thought you had to pay back. Lauren laughed helplessly. I know, but I want to pay back, okay? I stood there without speaking. A long time before slowly opening my mouth. Lauren, it's been 2 years already. There's a poem saying sunset is infinitely beautiful. Just that it's near dusk. Perhaps you discovered I once truly loved you. You discovered I did many useless things. Feel moved or guilty. I paused. But Lauren, for me, the moment I jumped from the rooftop, everything had completely ended. After speaking, I looked at Lauren, meeting her eyes. Expression calm and composed. Like facing an old friend not seen for years. Lauren, wake up. I don't need you to pay me back. Also don't need you to help me. I'm living very well now. Please go, I won't see you out. After speaking, I turned back to the office. Lauren stood up, looking at my back, difficultly opening her mouth. Can't we just collaborate? If you don't want to see me, I can have someone else handle this project. My hand on the door handle said, I have no intention of collaborating with your company. Miss Lauren, please leave. Lauren watched me gently close the office door. Her brows slightly furrowed. These 2 years she chose to rest. Withdrew from the industry, then went to a small island. The first half year, while looking for me, while learning software and game development knowledge. After I left, she began frantically recalling the days we played games together. Every word spoken kept appearing in her head. Lauren thought, she must make a game that would satisfy me. I once worked hard for her dream. She should also work once for my passion. Lauren arranged all her time. Completely packed, leaving herself no time to breathe. Or rather, she completely didn't dare stop. Also didn't dare let herself breathe. Because every time she stopped, she couldn't help starting to miss me. Boundless pain surging in her heart. Lauren went home from my studio. Lucas just came out of the study, holding a thick stack of documents in his hand. Seeing Lauren, he spoke, You're back. Just in time to clean up for dinner. Lauren looked at her brother, asking, Brother, have you ever loved anyone? Lucas froze for a moment, quickly recovering with a smile. I'm almost 30 inches. How could I not have loved? Lauren nodded, not continuing to ask. Instead, Lucas looked at her with interest. What, want to pursue someone but don't know how? Lauren took water and drank a sip. Silent without speaking, Lucas put down the research documents. Looking at Lauren, meaningfully said, Before people and things we care about, we always fall into confusion. My advice to you is be yourself again. Don't be pulled by emotions. Let's eat at night. Lauren lay in bed, Lucas's words echoing continuously in her head. For a long time, she suddenly remembered that day by the sea. What I said. Lauren, do you still remember your dream? Start again. Lauren looked out the window, lost in thought for a long time. Until the first ray of light appeared on the horizon. Early the next morning, Lauren dialed a number, long uncontacted. Since that day parting at my studio, Lauren hadn't appeared before me for a long time. So long that when I occasionally remembered that day, I thought it was just my illusion. But I still kept receiving things. Lauren had people send over. Sometimes snacks. Sometimes postcards from around the world. Also sometimes Lauren's handwritten letters. Time seemed to truly reverse. But our roles had switched. I didn't have time to tug of war with her. Whatever Lauren sent, I ignored it all. Those letters and postcards, Jason had the assistant put in a small box. As for the food, all went into the team members' stomachs. Sometimes team members even joked, "Coach, Miss Chen is so good. Always sending this and that to you. Just agree to be with her." Every time I'd remember Sarah Chen. That woman with a sharp tongue but soft heart. Sarah Chen also hadn't appeared for long. Even couldn't be reached by phone. I'd gone to the Chen villa twice to check. Mr. Chen. She wasn't at the Chen villa. I sat by the window, once again dialing Sarah Chen's number. The phone still wouldn't connect. I could only follow the phone's voice guidance to leave a message. "Sarah Chen. Where are you?" Silence on the other end. My heart suddenly felt empty. Though I was abroad for 2 years. But Sarah Chen flew over almost every week. The alarm clock rang. Jason stood up. Outside the team members were ready. "Coach, shall we start?" I put down the phone saying, "Let's start." This was the first training for the national gaming tournament. It would also determine which team mine would first encounter, so had to treat it seriously. 2 hours later, everyone breathed deeply in relief. I also smiled satisfied. Very good performance. Keep working hard. In a blink 3 months passed. Sarah Chen seemed to have evaporated, while Lauren returned to public view. Just this time not as an actress, but as a director. When interviewed by reporters, she said, "I used to be very aloof, to the point of missing precious people and things. Now I want to find them again. Hope it's not too late." And I knew nothing of all this. As the competition day approached, I began getting nervous and anxious. On the other hand, Sarah Chen had disappeared too long. I often dreamed at midnight of Sarah Chen in trouble, waking with a start. Undeniably, Sarah Chen had become a part that couldn't be missing from my life. Completely no time or energy to care about other things. Today, after finishing training with team members, I received an anonymous package. Inside were 2 theater tickets. The play's name was Wounded Summer. I held the tickets searching on the computer, only then discovering this play was directed by Lauren. Turns out Lauren hadn't appeared this time, because she was making a play. The script she wrote herself, writing about her and my story. I stroked them a bit. Finally put the 2 theater tickets in the drawer. After a long time, I took out my phone again to call Sarah Chen. This time the ringtone suddenly rang outside the office. I looked toward the door somewhat disbelieving. Standing up, walking over step by step, slowly pushing the door open. Sarah Chen pulling a large suitcase. I stared at Sarah Chen for a long time. She said a lot. In this moment, many things flashed through my heart like a movie. The suppressed worry in my heart finally released. My eyes instantly reddened, forcefully hugging Sarah Chen into my arms. No one knew how worried I'd been this time. How panicked. Suddenly I grabbed her shoulders, pushing away, yelling loudly, "Why didn't you answer the phone? Do you know? I was about to call the police. Being together so long, I was always gentle without temper. No matter how sharply Sarah Chen spoke, no matter what excessive things she did, I'd never liked this moment. Angrily yelling at her like this." Sarah Chen froze, then suddenly came to coaxing, Okay. This time was my fault." Bang, a sound. I forcefully closed the door. Sarah Chen looked at the tightly closed door before her and suddenly laughed. That day leaving the villa, she'd been thinking. She was born wanting for nothing. 2 years always by my side. What was it for ultimately? If at first wanting to find fun from me, then what about after? Sarah Chen didn't even understand. Had she really fallen for me? But that morning she stood outside the studio door, watching my expression when Lauren sat down. Sarah Chen thought, perhaps I still hadn't let go. So she chose to leave, giving me time, also giving herself time. We both needed certain time and space to determine or not determine the answer. Sarah Chen turned off her phone, went with friends to Tibet, to the desert, to uninhabited areas. 3 months. She traveled very far roads, also saw many landscapes, body very tired. But every time lying down, she still couldn't help missing me, couldn't help thinking. These landscapes should be seen with me. Sarah Chen finished bathing, while drying her hair looking at the phone screen. On it was the trailer for the play's first performance. She remembered 3 days ago, sitting on the grassland watching Lauren's interview. Her heart instantly jumped. That night she packed and got in the car. Told her travel companions, "I'm heading back. You guys take your time." Sarah Chen thought. She'd found the answer in her heart. The next morning I just opened the door. Saw Sarah Chen carrying breakfast. Standing at the door. Heard from the kids you've been sleeping at the studio lately. Not eating properly either. This lady is being charitable, bringing you benefits. She didn't care about my cold face. Walked into the office laying out breakfast. If before I might have argued with her, I really wasn't in the mood now. I picked up the bowl of porridge before me and drank. Sarah Chen's mouth held a smile. Look like you're too nervous to sleep well. Dark circles are obvious. I instinctively rubbed my eyes. Sarah Chen comforted, "It's okay. Don't be nervous. Trust in your own strength. You're from a professional overseas training camp. Not many domestically can beat you. I'll take you to relax tonight." That evening I sat in Sarah Chen's passenger seat, looking at the art theater outside the car window. Voice stiff. "Sarah Chen. What did you bring me here for?" Sarah Chen carelessly said, "Of course, to watch a play." The theater hall already had quite a few people seated. This was Lauren's first play after returning to showbiz. Setting other things aside, Lauren's professional ability was beyond reproach. Moreover, this was her first live performance. Everyone naturally very supportive. I followed Sarah Chen to the center of row 2 and sat down. The play hadn't started. Curtain tightly closed. Completely unable to see what was happening inside. After a while, following the announcer's voice, the curtain slowly opened. That male actor didn't look like me. But the costume was exactly like mine from 7 years ago. Copied identically. Even the earrings were identical. My hands on my thighs couldn't help clenching. That boy was playing me from back then. Though Lauren added many plot details for story. But everyone present knew clearly. This was Jason and Lauren's story. Finally, Lauren stood center stage. She seemed completely immersed in the play, yet seemed separated from the plot. Her gaze fell on me. "I knew you would leave. I also knew I couldn't keep you. But you passing by me was already the most beautiful encounter." The curtain slowly closed, the theater dark for seconds. During this time no one spoke. Everything returned to silence. After silence came thunderous applause. Even audience members whispered, "Such great acting. Today is also a day crying for Jason." Audience members behind had begun slowly leaving. I still sat in the seat, body stiff. After a long time, all audience members left. Only Sarah Chen and I remained. Lauren slowly walked from backstage into the hall. She stood at the very front. Across a row of seats, her gaze gently looked at me, calling, "Jason." For the first time, Sarah Chen didn't get angry when Lauren appeared. She thought I should calmly face the past. Face everything that had happened. I slowly stood up, extending my hand, holding Sarah's hand, looking at Lauren, smiling in praise. "Lauren, your acting is still as good as before. You'll do even better in the future. Wishing you happiness." After speaking, I nodded to Lauren, turned and walked outside. Sarah Chen immediately followed. But I didn't get in the car. Instead went around the car and kept walking. Sarah Chen looked at my back, calling, "Jason." My footsteps stopped. Don't know when my eyes had turned red. I took deep breaths, calming my emotions. Turning to look at Sarah Chen. "Sarah Chen, what do you take me for? An object that can be passed back and forth?" I laughed lightly. "That's right. You used to find teasing me fun." Hearing my words, Sarah Chen realized she'd misunderstood. She came over, gripping my hand tightly. She put away her playful manner, very seriously looking at me. "Jason, we've known each other a long time. I consider myself understanding you well, but you? Do you understand yourself? You always say you've let go. But receiving her things, you still lose focus, hesitate. You've never calmly faced that past. Right?" On the plane to New York I fell asleep. In my dream I again dreamed of Sarah Chen. standing before me saying these words. But Sarah Chen didn't know. During the time she disappeared, I'd already clearly understood my own heart. The past before, true, left indelible marks on my heart. But I didn't feel I couldn't face it. Who hasn't loved the wrong person in their lifetime? The plane landed smoothly. I slowly opened my eyes, looking at the empty seat beside me, then looking up at the far corner. Sarah Chen wearing a mask and baseball cap, sitting in the cramped economy seat, clearly angry saying she wouldn't come. But she still came. I stood up leading the team members outside. Sarah Chen also quietly stood up following. Second day arriving in New York. The whole team trained behind closed doors, cutting off all outside contact. Before turning off devices, I sent Sarah Chen a message. Sarah, after the competition I'll tell you my answer. Sarah Chen received the message sitting in the car dazed. Looking at the message on her phone, she suddenly smiled. At this time the electronic screen beside showed Lauren's image. The once aloof movie star after returning seemed completely changed. If saying, before Lauren only had ideals in her eyes, then now she only had me in her eyes. For me she could do many things she couldn't do before. For example, developing a game. For example, to meet me, becoming the gaming tournament's image ambassador. I knew Misty West City was developed by Lauren, so guessed I'd meet Lauren at the gaming tournament. I just didn't expect Lauren wasn't appearing as the game company boss, but as the image ambassador. In the restaurant, Lauren held a wine glass slowly coming before me. Jason, wishing you smooth competition. I lightly clinked glasses with her. Thank you. I took a light sip, then invited the team members behind to sit down. The guys looked at me, then looked at Lauren. Lauren sat across from me. She moved her mouth wanting to speak. The guys beside immediately said, Coach, these grilled chicken wings are really good. Want some? Coach, the toast is so soft. Coach, my fried pasta is amazing. Want to try? I glanced at them. The guys immediately performed Western drama, understanding they did it on purpose. I looked at Lauren. I laughed lightly. Sorry. They're still young. Don't mind them. Lauren froze for a moment. She shook her head. It's fine. I said no more. After eating I went to the resort's flower garden for a walk. Just turning to leave, met Lauren again. Lauren holding a bouquet of yellow roses called, Jason. I stood there unmoving. Lauren's voice slowly rang out. Seems I still haven't properly apologized to you. But I still want to say sorry. My gaze fell on Lauren's face. I clearly saw her beautiful almond eyes, carrying regret and guilt. She sincerely apologized. I didn't know, Jason. I didn't know you suffered so much back then. I laughed lightly. Lauren, I accept your apology. But those things, none of them were forced by you. Right? Lauren's expression seriously looked at my face. Her heart ached. Is there really no possibility for us? I looked at the yellow roses. If I remembered correctly, yellow roses mean apology. But there's another meaning. Lost love. I slowly spoke again. Lauren, look forward. After speaking I walked straight past her, but I'd only taken 2 steps. Behind suddenly came a dull thud. Turning around sharply, I saw Lauren had fallen to the ground, unconscious. She clutched her stomach tightly, face deathly pale without a trace of color. In the hospital Lauren slowly woke. Larry was sitting bedside peeling an apple. She looked around, then looked at the distant hospital room door. Don't look, he's not here. Larry put the apple on the bedside table, helped Lauren sit up. After bringing you to the hospital last night, he left. The competition started at 10 this morning. Lauren's pupils gradually darkened. Hearing Larry's words, Lauren immediately grabbed the phone beside her. Looking at the time, already 11 o'clock, Lauren suddenly pulled the IV from her hand, about to lift the blanket and get out of bed. Larry pressed her back down. Don't you want to live? Lauren, you're really something. Really treating your life as nothing. You tortured yourself into acute gastritis. Do you know that? That day Lauren prepared to return to showbiz. She called Larry's phone. Larry had been in showbiz many years. Naturally had some connections and relationships. He brought Lauren back to public view while also helping Lauren complete the play. Now he looked at Lauren somewhat helplessly. We've been friends 7 or 8 years, Lauren. How did I not discover before? You could be this stubborn. Lauren was pressed on the bed by him, not speaking. Larry took the remote, turned on the TV in the hospital room, switched to the gaming tournament live stream. If you want to watch, watch here. Running there from here, it'd probably be over. Lauren's gaze fell on the TV screen, showing all team members' computer screens, occasionally switching to important viewpoints, along with commentator explanations, watching each game character's movement on screen. Lauren's hands also unconsciously clenched. Just then, the camera suddenly turned to me. The crystal chandelier above me crashed down with a boom. The TV instantly went black. Larry jumped up from his chair. Lauren's heart felt gripped tightly. This time she didn't care about Larry's obstruction. Pulled out the IV and ran outside. At the gaming tournament site, the moment the large crystal chandelier fell, all lights in the hall went out, becoming pitch black as ink. Couldn't see anything. A loud boom followed, making everyone present's hearts tremble. My team members reacted first. Someone yelled, "Coach Williams is there. Quick, turn off the circuit breaker." After a moment the hall lights came back on. The scene before everyone shocked them all. I had fallen beside on the floor. My forehead hit something and turned red. Beside me, less than 2 meters away, Sarah Chen and several other coaches were pinned under the crystal chandelier. The chandelier was very large. Light bulbs shattered from the strong impact. Some shards even pierced into flesh. Sarah Chen was injured the worst. The chandelier hit her head, and a piece of the chandelier frame pierced through her arm. Blood covered the floor. She had her eyes tightly closed. Everyone gasped. Still, my team member yelled loudly, "Call an ambulance quickly. Quick, call an ambulance." I woke up at midnight the next day. I rubbed my slightly aching forehead. A few fragments flashed in my mind. I remembered the competition had started. Then what? What happened after? I pressed my forehead thinking for a while. Before remembering, at the competition site, I was focused watching the team members. Suddenly someone pushed me hard. Then I lost memory. Who pushed me? How did the competition go? The hospital room door was pushed open. Lauren carried a thermos lunchbox walking in. "You're awake." Seeing Lauren, I was somewhat confused. Then asked, "Why is it you? Where's Sarah?" I looked outside the hospital room door. Before, no matter what happened, whether I had a fever or minor injury, Sarah Chen always appeared. Lauren put the lunchbox on the table, then pushed it before me. "Eat first." A bad feeling flashed in my heart, instinctively wanting to grab my phone. Lauren held my hand. "Listen to me. Eat first. After eating I'll tell you, okay?" I looked at Lauren's hand holding mine. My heart grew more panicked. "Lauren, tell me, what happened to Sarah?" My heart was very panicked. Unprecedented panic. No matter how I controlled it, my heart wanted to jump out of my chest. Lauren poured soup from the thermos, blew it cool and brought it to my mouth. "Drink soup first." Her voice, though gentle, also carried an undeniable tone. "If you want to know where Sarah Chen is, then eat everything." I looked at Lauren's serious expression, forced myself to eat a little. Seeing me eat, Lauren's expression was no longer serious. She cleaned up the things on the table. Turning to leave, I grabbed my phone, calling her. "Lauren, didn't you say after eating you'd tell me where she is?" Lauren's footsteps stopped. Even her back stiffened. "The chandelier above your head fell. She rushed over to save you and got hit in the head. Her arm shattered." Still unconscious now, Lauren's voice seemed to echo from far away. She turned to look at me. "Before being taken to emergency." She hazily opened her eyes. "Asked if you were hurt. Only fainted after hearing confirmation you weren't." I tremblingly got out of bed. Didn't even put on shoes before running out of the hospital room. I stood in the crowded hallway, but suddenly realized I didn't know where Sarah Chen was. Several team members happened to run over. Seeing me like this, their eyes showed sympathy. "Coach, you haven't recovered. Why aren't you resting?" After speaking, Marcus was about to help me back to the hospital room. But I gripped his hand tightly, asking, "Marcus, where is Sarah Chen?" Marcus looked straight at me, then looked at Lauren. Seeing her nod, only then slowly said, "Miss Chen is still in intensive care. I'll take you there." Another guy got slippers for me to wear. Outside intensive care, I looked at Sarah Chen through the glass. The person who always smiled brilliantly now lay there silently, head and hands wrapped in bandages, whole body full of tubes. I remembered the morning of the competition. I called Sarah Chen. "Sarah, today is my team's first domestic match. You really won't come watch?" Sarah Chen's voice arrogant. "Not going. What's so interesting?" I continued speaking. "I got you tickets for great viewing positions, very close to the coach's area. I've sent the e-ticket code to your phone. Competition starts at 10 inches. I knew Sarah Chen's personality. She always had a sharp tongue but soft heart. Mouth saying she wouldn't come, but would definitely come. I'd even already thought how to share with her after winning, how to tell her my answer, but didn't expect we'd meet again in these circumstances." My hand on the glass, I cried out loud. The heat fogged Sarah Chen's image. I raised my hand to wipe, but the more I wiped, the foggier it got. Lauren stood not far behind me, watching me lost and devastated. Her heart felt stabbed by a knife. She thought everything could still be made up, could still be salvaged. Only now did Lauren understand. Not everyone stands still waiting. Not everything has a chance for redemption. Perhaps from that time, when Sarah Chen kissed me in front of her, she had already completely lost. Marcus stood beside me saying, "Coach, the doctor said Miss Chen's condition needs monitoring. But don't worry, she's past danger. Just temporarily, don't know when she'll wake. Don't worry. Miss Chen surely doesn't want you to worry." A month later, the gaming tournament was reorganized, learning from the previous accident. This time organizers held the competition in a large plaza, still livestream format. I sat by Sarah Chen's hospital bed, TV showing the tournament livestream. I held a wet towel, gently wiping Sarah Chen's arm. "Sarah, you've been lying here a month. When will you wake up? Do you still want to hear my answer? If you don't wake up, I'll really be angry." Though I said this, I wasn't angry at all inside. I put down the towel, seriously looking at Sarah Chen's features. She was already beautiful, now sleeping even less aggressive. My hand gently stroked Sarah Chen's eyebrows. "Sarah, I've been dreaming of you lately. Dreaming of you 2 years ago." I laughed lightly, not knowing if speaking to her or to myself. "I dreamed you stood before me, raising your eyebrows saying my face wasn't bad. Also dreamed you pulled me from the Riverside Road railing down." Lauren stood outside the hospital room door, feet rooted to the spot. I suddenly smiled looking at Sarah Chen. Images from long ago appearing in my mind. I remember that day I was extremely desperate. My phone fell and I instinctively wanted to pick it up. Then you pulled me down. "What did you say?" "You said I broadened your horizons." I paused. "Sarah, you really speak harshly. But if not for you, I probably would have died that day." I held Sarah Chen's hand. Her palm was always warm, but now ice cold. I looked at her palm for a long time. Sarah Chen's hand moved slightly. Hope rose in my heart. Continuing to speak. "Actually, when I first met you, I thought you were really cruel. A young lady who'd never suffered, finding amusement from someone like me. And me? I was about to be crushed. You had that playful attitude toward the world. After you saved me, I realized you weren't what I thought. You're different from other rich young ladies." I looked at Sarah Chen with closed eyes. Continuing, "The months you disappeared, I thought you had an accident, worried all day. Couldn't eat or sleep. One night I dreamed you had a car accident. Woke with a start and couldn't sleep again." Lauren stepped back, leaning against the wall, eyes tightly closed, eye corners dry to the point of pain. My voice continued floating out, hoarse and broken. "Sarah, you saved me 3 times. I owe you too much." I originally wanted to say if there's a next life, I'd definitely repay all I owe you. If I say I love you, would you think this love is too fake? The things in Lauren's hands slowly fell to the ground. She closed her eyes, then slowly turned and left. In the hospital room, Sarah Chen opened her eyes. She gripped my hand tightly. Hoarse voice rang out, "This life's matters. Resolve in this life." I froze, looking up at Sarah Chen. She looked at me, pulling at the corner of her mouth. "Can't even sleep peacefully. Keep hearing you talking non-stop by my ear. Jason, why didn't I discover before you talk so much?" I stared at her, looking at her for a long time before coming to. Supporting Sarah Chen up, before I could pull my hand away. Sarah Chen threw herself into my arms. A passionate kiss descended, catching me off guard. Don't know how long passed. Sarah Chen finally left me. "Jason, why are you?" "Also don't know." Looking at my dark circles from staying up, Sarah Chen raised her hand to stroke them. I smiled lightly. "Sarah," I raised my arms, hugging her tightly. 5 days later, after confirming Sarah Chen's health had no issues, I processed her discharge. At the same time, my team in this tournament won second place, though not first, but for a completely new gaming team. It was already quite good. Just out of the airport, the big boys immediately rushed over. Marcus holding the trophy, showing off endlessly before Sarah Chen. "Look at our trophy." Sarah Chen glanced at me, then looked at my team members. She laughed coldly. "It's not that you're good. If anyone's good, it's your coach." The boys immediately fired up. Oh, sorry for disturbing." I couldn't help laughing with them. By the car, only then did I notice not far away stood a familiar figure. Sarah Chen naturally also saw Lauren, wearing a long white knit dress. "Light makeup, congratulations." I nodded to her, then got in the car. Half a year later, my and Sarah Chen's wedding, held by the beach in Bali. I arranged an extremely grand and romantic wedding. Even Sarah Chen couldn't help saying, "Isn't this a bit too extravagant?" I just laughed coldly. Once in a lifetime wedding. Shouldn't it be done seriously? On the wedding day, I wore a pre-ordered suit. The makeup room door was knocked lightly. Lucas came in, seeing me, praised, "Very handsome today." I smiled, nodding. "Thank you, Lucas." Lucas looked at his watch. Apologetically said, "Jason, I'm really sorry. I just got a call. There's an urgent project needing me back. So sorry." I waved my hand. "It's fine. Go handle your business." That time, meeting Lucas at the 4S dealership, saying we'd have coffee sometime. I originally thought it was just a joke, but unexpectedly he really asked me later. Going back and forth, we became friends. Following the host's voice, I watched Sarah Chen holding flowers, wearing a white wedding dress, slowly walking toward me. Lauren stood in a distant villa, watching our wedding from afar. She seemed to hear the priest's voice. The priest asked, "Miss Sarah Chen, do you take Jason as your husband? From now on, whether in health or sickness, whether rich or poor, whether good times or bad, together for life, never leaving or abandoning." We both seriously nodded. "I do." Lauren seemed to see us exchange rings, see us among flowers, surrounded by friends and family toasting. But clearly this villa was very far from there. 5 years later, Lauren as a director. Her first film officially premiered. It was a romance film. The box office was said to be average, but viewers all rated it highly. By the third day of release, box office even showed signs of exceeding. The higher the film's discussion, naturally more people went to theaters. Lauren interviewed. Someone asked, "Director Lauren, your latest film, many people, from it, analyzed your previous romantic experiences. What do you want to say about this?" Lauren pursed her lips. "Hope everyone treasures the person beside them. Treasure current fate." The reporter continued asking. "Some also say, this film seems to end perfectly, but still feel sad for the female lead. What do you think?" Lauren looked up at the camera, as if through that lens, looking at someone unreachably far. Finally, she just stayed silent. The reporter tactfully dropped this topic. At the Chen villa, Mr. Chen and I sat on the sofa playing games. Sarah Chen sat beside, playing chess alone. She looked at the time, turned and burrowed into my arms. "You've been playing games for 2 hours straight. Isn't that enough?" Her sudden hug startled me. "Sarah, Let go of me first. Sarah Chen stared at me. Pushed me upstairs. I'm not letting go. Last month's competition. Last month you went on business, finally came back with difficulty. Got home and immediately played games with my dad. Jason, do you still have your wife in your eyes? Sarah Chen's voice was aggrieved. Jason only then realized I had indeed been neglecting her. Sorry dear, I've been too busy lately. After I finish this period, let's go traveling. Sarah Chen's eyes immediately lit up looking at me. How long is this period? I seriously calculated, 1 month. 2 months, 3 months? About 3 years. My serious manner made Sarah Chen laugh. Very good, you've learned to tease me too. She hugged me tightly, tickling my sensitive spots. We laughed and tumbled together. Finally laughing until breathless. I then said, I'll take leave next week. Sarah Chen kissed my lips lightly. That's barely acceptable. The afternoon sun was just right. Dry branches on trees had sprouted new buds. Birds chirping melodiously. I rested on Sarah Chen's arm, looking at sunlight filtering through leaves. Couldn't help thinking this was really good. What I'd always wanted was just a peaceful life. Sweet ending.